Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of The Sky's the Limit. Welcome to part 2 of my 3-part video series on my travels in the Philippines. In the last video, I covered some of my travels in the northern part of Luzon, including the mountainous areas. Now, if you haven't seen that video, please check the description below for the link. In this video, I'll talk a bit about my forays into central and southern Luzon, land of volcanoes, islands, and beautiful beaches. Because I lived on Luzon, I was able to travel many more places there, especially in the central and southern areas. Along the eastern coast of Luzon is the province of Aurora. The chief town of Aurora is called Baler, and it's a wonderful place to visit, and I've been there several times. Baler sits right on the coast at the southern end of Baler Bay. Baler is considered one of the Philippines' best surfing spots. Storms to the east will often kick up the surf in the area for the more experienced riders. When things are quiet, the tidal surf is perfect for the first-time and novice surfer. There are several nice resorts to stay at along the coast, and a drive north along the coastal road is also recommended. We took a very scenic drive on a very nice highway up to the northern end of Baler Bay to the Casaguran area, where we found neat rock formations and a nice spot to camp out for the night. We also had a chance to check out the beautiful Detumabo Falls area, which was well worth the hike. While in Baler, I also visited the Pagasa radar site and office there on top of a nice hill by the sea. They allowed us to tour the site and take some nice pictures inside and out. I really like the area, and the only downside to Baler and Aurora in general is that they get hit with a lot of typhoons. You can expect at least one strong typhoon to hit nearby each year. Otherwise, if I had my choice of places to live in the Philippines, Baler would be high on that list, and I'm definitely hoping to travel there again one day. The province of Zambales offered me a couple of notable trips during my stay in the Philippines. On Mother's Day 2010, we took a little drive over to Subic Bay and Olongapo. We toured the area a bit and stayed in a nice hotel for a couple of nights. We also had some business to attend to in Tarlac, so there was a little road trip in the middle of it all. During the drive in and out of the area, Mount Pinatubo looms nearby as you pass by and through some of the areas directly affected by the eruption in 1991. We took a weekend trip to Anawangan Cove in 2012, and it rates in the top 3 of my travel experiences in the Philippines. We departed Manila by van in the early morning hours, and after a pit stop in Bataan to refresh and get some breakfast, we arrived in the tiny beach town of Pandaket. From there, we took a boat out and south along the coast past Nagsasa Cove into a pine-filled sweet spot called Anawangan Cove. The camping area is quite popular with a wide range of camping amenities, and although a bit crowded, everyone got along fine. We stayed overnight and left the next morning for an excursion out to Capones Island and the Lighthouse, another popular tourist destination. After hiking around the island a bit and having lunch, we island hopped a bit more before heading back to Anawangan, where we packed up and took the return boat trip to Pandaket, where our van returned us to Manila late that evening. We took a day trip with friends over to the island fortress of Corregidor, site of the famous standoff between the Americans and the Japanese at the onset of World War II. Corregidor Island lies just to the southeast of the Bataan Peninsula at the entrance to Manila Bay. It was a strategic battle fortification during Spanish occupation, and the Americans also used it as a military fortification. From our location in Las Piñas, we took a boat out across Manila Bay and to the island of Corregidor. Once we disembarked, we began our tour of the island. We stopped by some of the old gun emplacements, barracks, and other notable sites. We also took a guided tour through the Malenta Tunnel, the last holdout of American forces before being overtaken by the Japanese and forced into the Bataan Death March. For Americans, this is a must-see spot and is still significant if you're traveling into the country from elsewhere. Now, before I go on to talk about some of the other places I've been, I want to thank the sponsor for today's video, Island Color and Copy in Tamuning. If you need something printed, you need to call Island Color and Copy. Island Color and Copy can design and print banners, stickers, signs, floor graphics, business cards, and more. Awarded Pika's Best 2020 Graphic Designer Company and winner of the 2020 U.S. Small Business Administration's Small Business Person of the Year Award. Island Color and Copy, located in Tamuning near Bank Pacific. Just call them up at 648-2679. The Laguna province is often overlooked due to the endless supply of activities along the coasts. But this area has some of the most diverse scenic landscapes in all of the Philippines, with numerous mountains feeding freshwater lakes and streams, with countless waterfalls and a rich culture and history. Part of the Laguna de Bay is the leftover remnant of an ancient volcanic caldera. It's the largest freshwater lake in the Philippines and is constantly fed by runoff from the surrounding mountains in the wet Philippine climate. The areas along the southern shore are the most populated. Towns like Los Baños, Bai, and Santa Cruz are becoming prime spots for tourism, as the area is also the southern gate to the Bicol region for those traveling there by land. The many resorts along the shore offer a wide variety of activities and amenities, from waterfall dining to taking a dip in the hot springs. A quick trip to the Laguna area is definitely recommended if you're in Manila and have a day to kill. About 30 miles south of Manila is the Taal volcano and the quickly growing community that overlooks that beast, Tagaytay. Tagaytay is one of the most popular places for Manila residents due to its proximity to the city. Nestled along the Tagaytay Ridge overlooking Taal volcano, the town enjoys cooler temperatures due to the higher altitude. A sleepy little town just 10 years ago, Tagaytay now boasts dozens of high-rise condos as a boom in development takes place. In the meantime, Taal volcano continues to be quite active, with the last eruption taking place in January 2020. Day trips to Tagaytay are always fun, but be ready for quite a bit of traffic once you arrive in the town itself. I ventured down into Batangas on several occasions, but 3 trips in particular stand out. During one of the trips, we ventured over to Nasugbu, where we stayed the night in a treehouse at a cool beach resort. On another occasion, we traveled down to the Calatagan area on the very southwestern tip of the province. We camped out there overnight and had a great time. On 2 occasions, including Christmas 2015, we cruised down to the southern coast of Batangas and stayed at the Laia Coco Grove Beach Resort. We opted to stay in the camping section, where we popped up our tents by a huge pavilion and had some really good times. There are plenty of activities as well as food and trinket peddlers passing by from time to time. Supplies can be picked up just a couple of kilometers away at stores along the main road. The facility has electricity, restrooms, showers, and outdoor sinks. I definitely recommend this spot if you like to camp with a little assistance. My good buddy Mike had the hookup to a sweet spot out in the nearby islands to the south. Just to the east of Marinduque, an island south of Luzon, is another island called Manawaya. It's accessible by ferry out of Batangas with 2 trips daily there and back. The boat ride is a pretty long one, but they serve refreshments and offer air-conditioned seating inside if you can get a seat there. Personally, I found just riding in the back under the awning with a beer was more enjoyable than sitting inside watching a movie. I got a chance to go there 3 times, and Manawaya was pretty quiet when we went the first couple of times, but I hear it's really started to take off as a resort area. Our first and second trips were pretty chill, as we just enjoyed the relaxation of having a beach area all to ourselves in a tropical paradise. We had a larger group of family and friends on the 3rd trip, and we incorporated a few more activities into this adventure, including a boat ride around Manawaya and out to the Palad Sandbar. Located about a mile off the northeastern tip of Manawaya Island, the sandbar is really out there in the middle of the vastness of the sea. Available for visits anytime except high tide, the sandbar is a semi-permanent fixture that attracts tourists from all over. A quick 15-minute boat ride gets you out there, where you can view the island off in a distance while getting a sense that you're just standing in the middle of the ocean. There's some great snorkeling around the sandbar, and most trips allow you to hang out for about a half hour before moving on to the next stop. We stopped at a few other spots around the island and enjoyed the natural beauty of the area before heading back to our camping area for a good night's rest. I really enjoyed the trips to Manawaya, and I'm definitely looking forward to a return visit. Alright, that's it for part 2 of this video series. Be sure and check out part 3 featuring my travels in the Visayas and Mindanao, including 2 trips to Palawan. Now, if you haven't already watched part 1 about my travels in northern Luzon, just check out the links below in the description. And post your comments or suggestions down below as well, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. Now, let me say that again, please subscribe to the page. And be sure to check out my daily weather outlooks for Guam on my Facebook page, or you can also follow me on Twitter. Now, I have a Patreon page where you can contribute to my efforts in creating videos. And I want to thank my very first patron, Mr. Mark S. Cruz, for his generous contribution. please check the links down in the description below for the portal to my Patreon page and other videos. All right, that's a wrap. See you next time. Be cool and be safe out there.